Hey, everybody, welcome back to Liberty Warrior Nation Network. I hope everybody's had a great week. It's been a minute since we last spoke, but we had a lot going on, and we are happy to be here to catch up on this Sunday evening. It's November 23rd, 2025. LW and I do have some things we want to bring up to you guys, as well as catch you up on what's been going on all week. We are heading into Thanksgiving week, so I hope you guys, all your preparations and stuff are underway and things are going well. But other than that, we also have some stuff to talk about with the coins and show you some coins. It is just good to see everybody again. It's been too long. So we're going to come right back right after this with LW and myself. Hello. And you're mute. Your mic's muted.
There we go. Well, I was trying something, but it was a total train wreck.
Anyhow, it's good to be back. Oh my gosh.
It's been a long time since I've pushed that one button, and I guess it doesn't work anymore. So here we are.
Something's not working right, but we're working right. We can hear each other, and I think the audience can hear us and they can see us, and I think the sound is good. So I think that's all it takes, right, to run the show.
That's pretty much it. We're here. It's glad to be back, and the nose surgery went well. I feel well. I can breathe, which is really awesome. I'm getting better sleep. Hopefully my voice sounds a little better. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's been a while, and I'm definitely ready to get back on the horse and get back after it, Tammy.
Yeah, well, you look good. It's good to have you back. You do sound good. We missed you. It's been a crazy week, not just personally, but out there in the real world, I guess you could say. So it's great to come on and see everybody. They've been very patient waiting for us. I had some things that I was taking care of too, so I couldn't get on and do a show. So I apologize for that. But the good news is we're here. We're going to do a show tomorrow night, a full show as well. And it's good to get the 5x5s in the audience. Thank you guys so much, because LW was working with the producers. This today, getting some other things added to his stuff, like he doesn't have enough. It's a whole command center. Actually, I think it's almost overtaking your home.
Saturday, I tore the whole studio apart and added a couple more monitors. So yeah, we tore it all apart Saturday, put it back together. And then today we had to do sound checks and check the cameras and all the stuff. And it was a lot of work, but we got it done. And the producers are always greatly appreciated. Let's just say that, because honestly, I could do some of this stuff, but it'd take me forever to figure it out.
It does. Anytime we get an update, it sends everything in haywire, because we have microphones, we have different lighting, we have different platforms we go on. LW has it worse than I do, but even when I try to do any updates with my OBS and stuff, I lose a bunch of stuff. So it's crazy. But anyhow, onward and upward. Do you want to break the news about the coins by chance?
Yeah, I do. But first, real quick. Stick with us, because we're going to talk about MGT, or MTG.
Yep.
It's breaking news. We want to talk about it tonight. So we're going to talk about Marjorie. What does that mean for the Republican Party? What does it mean for Donald Trump? Would love to get your guys' comments in chat. But we're going to come back to that. So, like promised, for all you guys who donated coffees to us, or Cash App or Venmo or whatever you guys did, I went and purchased the silver coins. I had them shipped to Tammy's house, and so she's got them. They showed up over the week, and we're going to be ready to give those coins away right before Christmas. So sometime in December, first week in December, probably, Tammy, somewhere in there. So that there they are, the Buffalo rounds. Yeah, we want to be able to give them away in so they can get there before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be doing that here in about, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks, somewhere in there. So everybody who donated, your name's going to go in that drawing, and we're gonna give that away. So with that being said, anybody who still wants to get in that drawing can still get into it, because we'll take donations clear up until the day before the drawing. So anybody who wants to donate a coffee or whatever, go ahead and do that, and we'll get your name put in the drawing. And I'm excited to do that.
Absolutely. And I forgot to talk about, I was so excited to get on and pull you on board that I forgot to say what we are going to talk about tonight. So thanks for covering me on that. But also I want to cover a couple things about Tim Burchett, the rep from Tennessee, because, you know, he all of a sudden, it seems like he's stepping up and he's speaking out against a lot of things too. And I'm going to be honest, you guys, heading into the holiday season, I'm not feeling too positive about a lot of things going on, a lot of things that are being said. I'm a very optimistic person, but, you know, the lights seem to be a little bit dimmed lately on a bunch of different things, not just Marjorie, but just the back and forth that has been going, the backlash from her decision. You know, I think they want us to focus on just her, but we have to figure out the reasons why and who's saying what about her. Also, we have up here talking about the Muslim Brotherhood that President Trump is going to instate as a terrorist group. So I think that's going to cause a lot of problems. I think it's long overdue, but, you know, Mom Donnie was just in the Oval speaking with Trump on Friday. So I don't know where you want to go, where you want to start, LW. I'll leave it up to you.
Well, I think Marjorie is going to be a hot topic, so we'll kind of save that for the last. But I get bad feelings too. Like, I'm going to tell everybody who's listening tonight, I've just been preparing. Like, I'm stocked up on a lot of things, because I just feel like if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen now. And I just want to make sure I can take care of my family. That's my big thing right now, is just getting prepared, getting prepped. Not try to get sucked into a lot of the news cycles, because a lot of it now just seems like it's just not good news. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, and it's not just one thing. It seems like that everything that's coming out, you know, people are going back and forth, and there's no conversation. It's just basically we need to do this and get this over with one way or the other, whether you're on the left, whether you're on the right. So that's the thing that's been bothering me. Now, President Trump did meet with Mom Donnie in the Oval Office, and I have to tell you, I was shocked, because we know that Mom Donnie had been saying he wanted to meet with Trump. He'd be willing to do it. And Trump said, I'm willing to meet with you as well. So they did. And it was very cordial. It was very friendly. And I'll tell you, Mom Donnie did. So the left ran with this. What they did is they said, oh, Mom Donnie called Trump a fascist and all this to his face. Well, no, he didn't. What happened was he talked about Trump before and said bad things about him. And a reporter asked him directly, did you say this? And Mom Donnie went to explain what he said. And Trump says, just say yes, it's easier. You don't have to go into detail. Just tell him yes, it's easier, and then we can move on. He goes, it's okay. I'm fine with it. And he came out of that meeting saying, and so did Mom Donnie, that they made a lot of progress, even though they think differently, that it was a good meeting. And my thing is, I don't know how you trust something like that because of everything that's being said. I know it's politics, but there's, you know, it's his beliefs. It's what he said. It's who he has been all along, this Mom Donnie guy. And the whole Muslim thing with that word that I was telling you just a little bit ago, what was it, Tanyani or something like that, that word, which means that it is okay for them to lie, cheat, steal, whatever they need to do if it's going to support their beliefs in Israel. So you got to watch your back with that, right? So you do with the Middle East and with their beliefs like that, unfortunately. You know, it's not like it's a loving, accepting type of belief. We all are well aware of that. We know what's going on in Israel as it is. And as a matter of fact, who was it? Oh, Benjamin Netanyahu just came out, and it was 2 days ago, I think it was. And he said that Hamas violated the ceasefire again. And he said he's sending a terrorist into Israel to hold territory to attack IDF soldiers. In response, Israel eliminated 5 senior Hamas terrorists, and that was yesterday, as a matter of fact. So my point is, nothing is settled down. What we're being told is settled down. We've seen freaking Bibi at the White House numerous times. We've seen what Mom Donnie had said in the White House. But it's, you know what? I say this. Talk is easy. Talk is cheap. It's action that you have to pay attention to. That's all there is to it. And I'm not feeling comfortable with any of this. I've been following Candace Owens about Charlie Kirk, and her life has been threatened, she says. Whether you like these people or not, that is not the point. The point is you got to follow this trail of what is going on and why is everything so muddy and cloudy. And that's what's bothering me. Like you, LW, I don't feel confident anything is just moving forward. I feel like we're zigzagging up and then down and then sideways, and nothing feels solid. Not even the president, because the president is saying one thing. He said all these bad things about Marjorie. Now he's turned around and said, well, she's a nice lady. It's like, what is actually going on? I feel like we're putting other countries first before us again, and I don't like that. I feel like we're backsliding. I'm kind of over MAGA. I feel like I came up with AFA, America First Always. That's what I want to start hearing, America First Always. I'm done with the MAGA stuff because the MAGA is split apart, and I don't feel like America's being put first at all with these congressmen, with everything that's going on. And I know that was a little bit of a rant, but let's hear what you have to say.
It is, as far as what's the guy's name who's mayor of New York now? Mondami,
or Donnie.
Mondami.
Mom Donnie, yes.
Mom Donnie.
Yeah.
Okay. So just look at Trump's track record. He double talks, right? He double talks. He says in one sentence, this person's awesome and perfect and does a great job, and then he'll tear him down. So as far as Mondami goes, I believe, this is just my own observation, I think that Trump's just playing the field. He's inviting him to the White House. He's talking to him. Who freaking knows what they're talking about? I believe Trump is the one that said that if he got voted in as what's the word here, mayor, and tried to do any of that shit there in New York City, that he was going to limit the federal funding going into the city of New York.
Correct.
So is that why Mondambi's there? Is the stroking because he doesn't want to lose that money? Strong possibility. I'll be honest, I don't trust any of them. I think that stuff is way above what we're being told. So that's my thoughts on Mondami going to the White House. Now, you talked about the second thing was what again, Tammy?
Oh, I was talking about how everybody's fighting against each other, one after the other, and BB, what he said about Hamas.
The Israel thing.
And
Israel thing and Candace Owens. I think Candace Owens is just my opinion, but I think Candace Owens is stepping in it pretty deep. And I have zero doubt that she's had threats against her life or against her family or any of that stuff. I think she's, well, my analogy is she grabbed a tiger by the tail. And who knows where that's going to lead. That's going to be pretty interesting to see how that plays out. So, again, more smoke and mirrors, more distraction, more stuff. I really think she's in over her head. I think she's going to get to a point where, and this is my own opinion, either she disappears or somebody tries to take her out, or she turns around and does a Marjorie Taylor Greene. I just think she is getting in way over her head. That's just my own personal opinion. That's just what I'm seeing. And what was the third thing there, Tammy?
BB and Hamas.
Israel
And yes,
and
Hamas and
Hamas.
Israel still going back and forth.
Well, we've been talking about this for months, me and you, right? And I told you that there's no way in hell that peace deal is going to hold together. It's just not going to happen. There's going to be continuous slaughter, bombing, shootings, war in that area. I just don't believe that there's going to ever be any peace there. And the day that there is real peace there, that's when we need to be reading our Bibles.
Yeah, so the ceasefire didn't cease fire. That's been going on forever. I mean, since the beginning of time. And, I don't know. There's just so many pieces of the puzzle across the board everywhere that it's hard to focus on even one thing. With President Trump coming out saying, speaking of Israel and all that, designating the Muslim, he calls it Brotherhood, as a terrorist organization. He said it's going to be done in the strongest and most powerful of terms. Final documents are being drawn, finally. I agree with that 100%, but we can't forget how many are here. We can't forget, and united we stand. Yes, Israel will never allow peace. It's about power and control.
I agree. I agree with Brother John. I don't think Israel's ever going to allow peace, ever.
And it's very sad. It's like the whole Gaza wanting that, and then the poor Palestinian people. And let's remember, it's not against the individual people, it's against the government, those people that are in power. That is what's wrong with our country, is some of these people that are in so-called power. I found out that even in local areas, that when these people run for office and stuff, they, after their 5-year term limits, they also get full benefits in that. A friend of mine sent me the numbers about how much people make in their salaries, and it's hundreds of thousands for silly stuff and silly positions, court solicitor, like they have a police lieutenant, a fire marshal. They're all in the $100 and some $1,000s. Some have 200 and some thousand. The city manager makes 200 and some thousand a year. And I'm looking at this amount of money that they make in government locally, and get their benefits and stuff after 5 years was completely insane to me. It made me so mad, because there are so many people out there that are hardworking people, as we know, that their jobs, we work until we retire. We're lucky if we can retire. Yet these people, these yahoos, really aren't doing a whole heck of a lot, and they're making all this money, and then they have these pensions, and I just don't understand it. So I'm just kind of over like everything lately. The more you find out, the more frustrating it gets, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm right there with you, Tammy. I want to say thank you to Patty J. She bought us some coffees tonight, Tammy, and it says, "Thank you, happy Thanksgiving." So thank you for that, Patty J. Really appreciate it. It's, God, it just gets so frustrating, even waking up every morning and looking at either Breitbart or looking at the X. Or I even last week, I spent a little time and watched Fox Friends, which I haven't done that for a long time, but I just wanted something different, right? I always watch the same shit over and over again, so I wanted something a little different, and it's frustrating to try to keep up with everything that's out there.
It is. Now, this other thing that came out, I have, we always talk about 2020, but there's a video that I sent for us to play, and it's John Solomon, and this guy is amazing, from Just the News, because I too, LW, have been going all over the place, even on Democrats' websites and different sites, just to try to get a feel for what everybody is feeling, not just us. I don't want to ever look just straight ahead or just have blinders on. I want to just go everywhere and find out things. So with John Solomon, there's leaked emails that implicate the CIA leaders in 2020 election were Biden aiding him to go against Trump. And so it's a 1 minute, 18-second video, if you can play it. Yep. This is another frustrating thing that came into fruition the last couple days. It was actually yesterday that it was posted. And basically, Kash Patel is saying that the CIA violated its legal ban on domestic political ops with this, and it points to the direct CIA involvement in the election. Now, how are we supposed to fight that? So this is the video right here. Yeah.
Let's see if it plays.
Short while ago, Just the News obtained this email. This is a very important email. It comes from the former CIA director, Mike Morrell. Yes.
Just want to know, can you hear that, Tammy?
Yep.
Can anybody give me a 5x5 there in chat if you guys can hear this?
It's the guy that organized that letter from the 51 intelligence professionals who tried to fake you into thinking that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation when it wasn't. It is between him and John Brennan, one of the signatories. You know who John Brennan is? He was Obama's CIA director, right? He's the guy that told Obama, hey, Hillary Clinton is doing a dirty trick on Donald Trump called Russia collusion. Well, this is just before the presidential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Hunter Biden's laptop is flinging out there. This is what Mike Morrell, former CIA director, tells his successor, John Brennan, hey, sign this letter because I'm, quote, trying to give the campaign, particularly during the debate on Thursday, a talking point to push back on Trump on this issue. A man with a security clearance, a man with the title of CIA director, knew that he wasn't creating an intelligence product, a Merrick civic duty with 51 people. He was trying to create a political moment. Damning evidence. We'll try to find out if Congress has this letter, but this is a very important piece. It is the ultimate proof that what went out on that letter was a political dirty trick coordinated with the Biden campaign.
So more and more stuff that's coming out, and that's what I say, there's so many dang layers. Yes, for us to say we know 2020 was stolen. Yes, we know all the paperwork that has been done, the ballots that are missing, all the stuff that happened here in Georgia. But this goes and implicates the CIA. And we assume that, right? But now we're finding out really. So my thing is, and this is why I'm unnerved. Yes, I believe in God. Yes, I know he's in control, but we still have to live through this, right? In prayer and doing what we think is best for our family. We can't just sit back and sit on our hands. You know, the man above does want us to do what we can do, what he calls us to do as well. So what bothers me with this is this monopoly that all our government branches have on Epstein, on 2020, on what Barack Obama did, which we talked about last week. And it goes on and on. It just won't stop. And what the thing is, and what's really got to me lately is we know all this. We have the paperwork. It's being exposed, but it seems like nobody's being held accountable. Even Hillary and Bill are saying that they're not going to show up for their going to the court about their subpoena.
Their deposition.
Yeah, the deposition. And you know, then it came out, well, Trump said, if you don't show up, I'm going to treat you the way that they treated Bannon and I think Giuliani.
But do we even believe that that's true? Because remember in 2016, he said, if you vote me in as president, she'll be in jail. That never happened. So I don't know.
So far, yeah. And also Tina Peters, speaking of Tina Peters, Carlene, Trump did come out and he did put out a statement. Let me see, where is it? He came out and put out a statement to her, like, get her out. She doesn't belong there. She's old and she doesn't belong there. All she did was fight for 2020 justice, or, you know, and LW knows her.
Irregularities in her county, and she was the person that had to answer for that. I've talked to Tina Peterson. I've interviewed Tina Peterson. I've got her whole story. She did exactly what she was supposed to do, and the Biden administration weaponized those three-letter agencies and went after her.
Yeah, he said, free Tina Peters, who sits in a Colorado prison. He said, dying and old for attempting to expose voter fraud in the 2020 rigged presidential election. So at least he's speaking up about it and he knows about it, because I think she's in solitary now or something, which is ridiculous, because what else made me... Yeah. What else made me mad was there was a picture or a video that came out supposedly of Ghislaine Maxwell walking outside with an umbrella over her on, you know, prison grounds. How was she able to do that but Tina's in solitary. Like, what is going on here? So, like I said, there's just a lot of different things at play, and they're very deep. And the conclusion that I've come into is it's so corrupt and crooked that I can't even believe it with my own eyes and ears. It's one thing to say it's corrupt and crooked, but when you go into the labyrinth of what this is in each little thing, whether it's the voting, whether it's who's in control or who voted and why they're voting this way, or who's been in Congress for X amount of years and why, to me it's totally insanity, because you realize they're there to line their pockets. And Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and said this. I think Tim Burchett, the rep from Tennessee, came out and said, listen, all of them are crooked. It doesn't matter what side they're on. They're bought, sold, and paid for. The majority of them, not all of them. I shouldn't say that. The majority of them, their hands are tied. And one of the things that came out as well about Marjorie, before we get deep into Marjorie, she said, listen, next year is the campaign year. They're going to be busy campaigning, which means they aren't going to be doing things that they need to get done, like taking care of all those executive orders Trump had put in there. They haven't worked on the big, beautiful bill part 2. They haven't begun that. Tim Burchett said that. He said, listen, people, they're going to be all preoccupied with that. So he's almost saying nothing really is going to be happening next year. We're all hopeful all this is going to keep moving along. Trump's executive orders are going to be turned into law, brought through legislature, put through Congress and the House, and signed into law, and nothing. It's like crickets. They're on the schedule for the first, I think it is 4 or 5 months of next year. They're only scheduled to work like 30 days or 45 days, something ridiculous amount in the first 6 months of next year. That either Tim Burchett or Marjorie Taylor Greene said that. Now, what are you going to get done in that little amount of days that you're working? They should be working 24/7 like the president is, like we the people deserve. They don't need vacations and breaks. We've got a country that we're trying to save. We've got a lot going on here, and they aren't doing crap. I am so disappointed in the Republican Party and the way that they're maneuvering around. I don't think they're doing crap. To tell you the truth, I'm not happy with them.
Tennessee girl put a comment in there about what Marjorie Taylor Greene is worth. It's not good. I don't know all the facts. I just know that when people go there, they leave multimillionaires. And I really feel like that alone is a telltale sign. We got Jeff B.
Yep.
In the waiting room. I'm going to go ahead and pull him in. And then, Tammy, I got the other videos teed up if you want to play them.
Yeah, we'll say hi to Jeff and see what's up Jeff's pocket today.
Hey,
How's it going,
Jeff? How you guys doing?
Stressed out.
Yeah.
Tammy's not happy. All this shit seems like it's falling apart, unraveling at the seams, and I'm kind of caught in the middle. I think bad stuff's coming our way. That's my
Yeah, there's no doubt that some bad stuff is coming, but something very interesting happened late Friday, or no, it was last night.
Ooh.
So Judge Shapiro was summoned to the White House, and they brought her in under U.S. Secret Service protection. So there was some kind of powwow that happened between the White House and Judge Shapiro.
Ooh.
So I'm not sure if maybe Pam Bondi might be on the chopping block, or if there's something else about to happen. Because I've heard that the Clintons have gotten rid of their Secret Service detail, and they've hired private security, and they're a ghost.
Oh, well, the heat's on them for sure. It is, and it's on Pam Bondi too, and even Kash Patel. People. This is the thing. For all the so-called transparency that we were promised, and this is why I'm upset. It's like I'm glad that you come in when you do, and you give me back hope again, because LW and I, like, we could like just go off, because the thing is, it's such shit, because Cash Patel and Pam Bondi, and even Dan Bongino, we looked so forward to them, and when they do a 360 like Dan has done on things, all we are left to do is assume, oh well, he says he saw things that he can't talk about, and he's like a deer caught in headlights. Well, that doesn't make me feel any better. Like, what the hell, dude? And I know there's things they can't tell us, but I don't feel like they're doing enough to make us feel comfortable. They're talking about all the things that they are doing as far as getting these illegals out and stuff like that. We made these arrests. We're working hard. Cash talks about all these documents that they're going through and stuff, all this paperwork, 33,000 paperwork on people or whatever. But the reality is can't we get special people in there to help out with this shit and get stuff moving?
Well, I mean, the way I look at it, yeah, I mean, I'm frustrated as well, but we're playing for all the marbles.
Yeah.
They I think it's way deeper, way more spread out. Every once in a while they'll throw out this Epstein, nonsense. You're not going to see. I would say I'm of 95 to 99%. We're not going to see a list. You're never going to see a list. The only thing that you may find out is the money flow and how all this money was transferred. And to be honest with you, unless you're a victim or a victim's family, we really have no right to know, to be honest with you. I mean, but people have to pay for what they've done. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
The accountability for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead.
I was going to say, a lot of the victims also came out and said, listen, we know the names. Who did they come out standing behind? Was that Marjorie before she quit?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were standing behind. I mean, the victims were like right there. We know the names. We want this taken care of. If the victims and the people want it, what the heck are they doing? And there has to be accountability.
Well, yeah. Here's my take on it is, let's hypothetically say DOJ comes out and releases every name that was involved. That's going to topple world governance. It's going to topple our government. We won't have a functioning body.
Do we now? Do we now?
Well,
the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a sense, just look at this curveball that just happened with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
Now, I said last week, I was told there were, as soon as the Epstein vote happened, there were 2 congressional members that stepped down. We know of one right now, and that's Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's another one going to be announced that they're stepping down. Huh. So I think they're, I believe she's involved in insider trading. Yeah. And this is why I've been told, this is what I believe, why I was told that there's going to be a national emergency letter that comes out of the White House to where on the voting systems, where everyone's going to have to re-register to vote. Trump only has 3 years.
Right.
Okay. And if we go through these 3 years and let's say a Democrat wins, all this is for nothing. Okay. If we get to the midterms and the Democrats take control of the House and the Senate, all of this was for nothing, because everybody knows the first thing that they're going to start doing is yelling impeachment. Hell, every 20 minutes on the House floor, Al Green's putting down impeachment orders.
And so is Hakeem Jeffries.
Well,
He wants them too. That's what they're going to do. They're just going to. I heard that they just want to set up and that they're keeping track of anybody that goes against what they want when they take over again. That they're just going to arrest. That's what That's what I heard they want to do, and they're going to do. Now
well,
I don't.
Well, they, in a sense, don't play by the rules.
Exactly.
And to me, I think the Republican Party is a bunch of pussyfoots. They don't want to get their hands dirty. They, and going back to that letter in the alphabet that everybody says is all nonsense, it states in there the military is the only way. So, I believe this is why this meeting was called in D.C., Virginia, is to find out who all's on board and to get their marching orders. We got Venezuela in less than 40 hours. Venezuela is going to be known as a narco-terrorist state. Okay? We're probably going to blow the shit out of Venezuela.
Because we've been sending the ships there, right? And the submarines. We talked about that, right?
We have everything in position. I mean, a third of our Navy vessels are under SOCOM's Southern Command. So Tampa, Florida is in control of 1/3 of our fleet. You don't move a third of our fleet to that area because you just want to flex. And what I'm in fear of is what I think once the first bomb drops, there are going to be cells within the United States that are going to be activated.
Yep.
I mean, just look at the Carolina over this weekend. This is the craziest garbage I've ever seen in my life. And I had no idea until I was watching another YouTuber, JLR Investigates. So he was down there doing the story about the ice coming into the Carolinas. I believe it was South Carolina, but it might have been north. I'm not quite sure. His vehicle got hit by an illegal, or what he assumes is an illegal. The plate on the car comes back to a dead person. And so he started doing some digging and find out that the person that was driving this vehicle was from Vietnam. Well, he comes out and says that the police departments were ordered and they set up some new group that if it's a non-major traffic accident, they're sending out civilians to do the traffic reports because they know that they have zero authorization to ask for ID.
Jesus.
So they are not running IDs and turning people over to ICE. So what I think is going to happen is in the Carolinas, Trump's probably going to mobilize the National Guard or federalize that police department.
As he should.
Right. Because now, if you get hit by somebody that's an illegal, there's no consequences because this person can just take off because this civilian group has zero authority to do anything.
Well, did you and LW hear about the big bust that just happened in Oklahoma with the truck drivers, with all the illegals that were supposedly truck drivers they did a sting out there in Oklahoma for the truck drivers. It's exactly it's not just the Carolinas. Think of how many accidents and how many people are harmed by that kind of thing. That's just a whole nother web of BS that's going on in this world. They're on our roads.
Well, me personally, I think what is going to happen if any of this is true, what we believe is going on. Trump, and I know some people aren't going to like it, and I pray to God that it's the right thing. I think Trump is going to have to issue the national emergency. He's going to have to invoke or announce the invoke of the Insurrection Act. I think we're possibly going to see an emergency broadcast because the media won't cover it. They'll just bash everything because Adolf Trump put it out there. And you know, it's there's a reason why the Pentagon sent up these rapid reaction forces for states. I mean, it's not because, oh, this is something cool we can do. There is some reasoning behind it. And I think it all comes down to the meeting that Pete Hegseth had with all the top line officers.
Well, thank you for bringing some logic and behind the scenes understanding to that, because I didn't think about that. You know, and also
we should play the next video.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, and so the next video is going to be that's John Fredericks, and it's talking about the Democrats' pressure military intelligence to defy President Trump. So I can't wait to see what Jeff has to say about this, LW. So if you want to play that, go ahead, and then I've got what Trump had to say about it.
Okay.
Words about a video that Democrat members of Congress encouraging our military personnel not to adhere to the president, the commander-in-chief's orders if they deem the orders to be illegal, whatever that means. Now, she said this was a clear violation of every oath of office everybody has taken. We have one president, it's the commander-in-chief. She said the president has no illegal orders, and this is basically an act of, I don't know, insurrection. And she's pointed out that the Congress people in this video, that all of them had either military backgrounds or intel backgrounds. Levitt said they knew exactly what they were saying. They knew exactly what they were doing. They're basically starting a revolution in order for the military not to support or carry out the directives of the commander-in-chief. She said this would cause chaos across all departments. She said this is dangerous, and she said it could be punishable by law. Take a look at what they said in this video.
The threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
So Levitt said that these Democratic congresspeople conspired on a video to encourage the military to basically defy the president if they don't like his order. Then she went on to say members of Congress are saying to basically ignore the chain of command. She said these people should be held accountable. She was asked directly if this was unlawful. She said, I'm not a lawyer, but I would suspect the administration is going to flesh this out. Now, one of the congressmen said, you must defy these. You must. That was a threat. Not you should consider. He said, you must defy these orders if you deem them illegal. Here's why this was a threat. When they take over, they're not only going to go after the president, they're going to go after every person in government, every person that hit a button or signed an order to go forward with what the president said. They're ready to put the entire cabinet and the entire military personnel in jail. That was their threat. You must. Think about this, where we've come. Now, don't forget, we want to share this.
That's the end.
With everybody on video.
So
want to get your
I can't believe that they can actually go on public platforms and say stuff like that. So what do you guys think, Jeff and LW? And then I'll read what Trump had to say.
I want to go first before I let Jeff have the floor.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. What about 2020? What about COVID-19? Those were illegal orders. Those were mandates. Those were not laws, and everybody fell victim to it, and so many people complied, and so many people got the vaccines, and people are still wearing the freaking masks. So if these guys are preaching that shit, think about that for your future. My second thing that I want to say real quick before I hand it over to Jeff is there's talk now that these people could very well come after our Second Amendment. I'm going to tell you right now, that's illegal as hell. Come get that shit from me and see what happens. Go ahead, Jeff.
So I know by this video,
Fuck around, find out.
right? I know by this video, you guys are pretty upset, right?
Well, yeah.
I'm laughing my ass off. You know why?
Why?
Some of these congressional members were officers. Guess what can happen? If they didn't resign their commission, they get pulled back into the military at presidential orders.
Wow.
And guess what happens? You get tried for sedition.
Well, Scooby-Doo. I like that.
Military
Bingo.
tribunal.
Well,
If they did not resign their commission prior to going into political office, they can be pulled back in
wow.
under the
I
UCMJ,
love it.
because when you become an officer, it's appointed by Congress. In order for you to separate yourself, you have to resign your commission. And I know at least 3 of them were officers.
Holy cow. Well, this is what Trump had to say. So you brought up the word sedition, but it said President Trump just reposted a scorcher aimed straight at the Democrats who pushed sedition against him. He said, go get those traitorous sons of bitches. That's LW's favorite term, by the way. For sedition at the very least. Those pompous, traitorous communists should be impeached and prosecuted. We really need to see some legal action against the Democratic Domestic Terrorist Party. Those are some strong words there, and that makes me feel a bit better, but I want to see it. Let's go.
Well, you remember Trump did that executive order that treason and sedition, he brought back the hangings.
Yep.
That
was the first thing that he did, Jeff.
Yeah.
As soon as he took back office, that was one of the first things that he did.
So, now you got people posting, pictures of pallets wrapped with the big Q written on it. Some big political members that are saying, hey, we got a whole bunch of paperwork on pallets that is going to be exposed. And I mean, it wasn't Dan Scavino. It was somebody else who posted this and wrote down, we got it all. Why are you posting stuff about having, I don't know, paper ballots on pallets on the internet all of a sudden? It to me, like I said, these people right now, here's the problem. And I don't know if that clip showed it, but these congressional members said, hey, if you're in the military and you defy this magic order that they're talking about, we got your back. What order are you referring to?
I know.
The president of the maybe it's the order of the national emergency that I believe is coming down. And look, whether you like Trump or not, whether you believe in what Trump is doing, this guy has not said something that hasn't come true or hasn't been just a straight bull-faced lie. Some of the stuff that he talked about, they got 4 provinces in Canada that now want their legislator to put it on a ballot to become part of the United States. Now that's batshit crazy.
Right there.
I mean, now it's being exposed about this congressional seat holder in the Virgin Islands. How she's not even supposed to be on not one committee because the Virgin Islands isn't a state, but they put her on there probably because, I don't know, that's where Epstein had all his movings and holdings.
Right? We can't forget about that. That's what I mean. There's so many components that it's so good to talk about it, because then it refreshes our memory, and then what we don't know, other people like you, LW in chat, help remind us, because like I said, there's so many components on everything. It's hard to remember it all. And Trump did also say about all this, he had another comment out there. He said that they should all be in jail right now, these people, that they're traitors for saying that the military should disobey him. And he said that the fake news networks trying to explain that what they said was okay. It wasn't and never will be. It was sedition at the highest level, and sedition is a serious and major crime. There can be no other interpretation of what they said. So he seems to be playing hardball with it and not playing around.
Well, and Trump's feeling the pressure because, I mean, he did a True Social post coming out and say, "Come on, Pam Bondi, we need an arrest."
Yeah. Oh, he did. That's right. He did. Dang it.
So I kind of want to know if maybe that's why I was told that they summoned Judge Shapiro to the White House. Is there going to be some, because everybody knows that Dame Bongino is not happy with her. And then you had this impromptu meeting with Prince bin Salman that came out of nowhere. And if you look at the video footage that they put on Fox News,
sounds like somebody's making money right now.
Yeah, that's my
money maker.
Yeah.
It's his money-making machine. He's going to make sure that everybody's got some money.
Yeah, that means some orders come in.
Oh, good.
But the video footage that they used at the White House was kind of interesting because they made sure they had a mirror when Trump and bin Salman were talking. And if you look in the mirror, the flag is blowing like crazy. But the two flags sitting on the portico were not moving. Oh, and you had Penguin 6 doing video, and it was raining in D.C., but there was no rain. It was a sunny day in D.C. when this meeting was going on. In the moment that this meeting started, 82,000, which is commonly known as Air Force One, it took off from Andrews Air Force Base, and the Air Force gave it the designator AF-1 while Trump was giving a speech. So either Trump's in Air Force One or he's not. So
let me ask you this question, Jeff, from one of the viewers. They posted it quite a bit ago. I'd like for you to answer this question, and then we'll go to the last video that we have for tonight, and we'll talk about that. But the question was, what happens if the Clintons do not show up for their deposition?
Well, I don't think they did. I know she didn't.
No,
they haven't yet. What happens if they do not?
Well, the House Master at Arms is supposed to issue an arrest warrant for them, like they did Steve Bannon. The House Master at Arms then sends out the U.S. Marshal Service. They contact the DOJ.
Toy.
What's that?
Toy.
Yeah, my puppy. Yeah,
his puppy's chewing on the toy, all happy. That's so cute.
I'm chicken right now.
She don't like it when she's not being paid attention to. But they'll issue an arrest. They did for Steve Bannon. They did for Peter Navarro.
Yep.
So what's the holdup? Now, I was told, I can't confirm it, but I was told they both left the country. They're gone. They're
what?
The Clintons are supposedly gone.
How are they allowed to do that? They aren't allowed, so they snuck out, right?
Well, yeah, that's why they hired private security and
they're not. They haven't had their passports taken or anything from them. So, okay, this is where I get frustrated, Jeff. So they've been summoned. They
Yep.
haven't shown up. Everybody's asking questions. What happens if they don't show up? I mean, don't forget that the crazy bee went and destroyed all that evidence, the 40,000 emails, bleached all of their shit, had all those private servers, smashed cell phones with hammers, and all that stuff. So what makes you think for 1 second that they're going to actually force them to go testify?
Right. Well, I told people from the very beginning, they are not going to show up. There's no way in hell they are going to show up to testify. Their ego wouldn't have let them. And they don't believe that rules apply to them. So if Congress doesn't do its job, if the DOJ doesn't do their job, there's only one alternative left, and that's the U.S. military. That's it.
Well, don't forget they didn't show up for Cheney's funeral either, did they? They just, now that I think about it,
Well, yeah, and
I watched
was-
it.
right, it was the day before I was told they fled the country. And you can't be in two places at once.
Dat burn, that's right. They weren't there.
And I don't believe Obama was there.
No, I don't. Obama. You know what? I'm looking at it. I've just found a picture. Pence was there. Kamala, the Bidens, the Bushes,
Yeah,
and Lindsey Graham. I think was there too.
correct. Well,
Ugh.
there's a lot of weird stuff with Cheney's funeral too. There was never an executive order that I have found that where the President of the United States ordered the flags at half staff. When they brought in Cheney's casket, it wasn't draped in the American flag.
Yeah, that was some weird kind of tapestry that was all wrinkled and gold,
Yeah.
and wasn't it gold and white?
Yeah, I think it was a Catholic flag. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
You didn't see any heads of state that I saw from around the world. I mean,
Oh, that's true too. Yep, that's right.
The guy was a vice president. He was a secretary of defense. He was a congressional member. He worked under the Ford administration, worked under the Reagan administration. He was the architect of 9/11, the quote unquote response. So I don't, and it didn't get the pomp and circumstance like all these other funerals do.
Right.
And here's the weird. Now this is my conspiracy hack going on. He died November 3, 11.3, the Law of War Manual, which we believe is defining everything that's going on. And then you die, and then 17 days later, all these proceedings start. Now that's my conspiracy. Something there isn't there.
Right. Interesting. Gosh. All right. Do you
Should we
want
play
to?
this last video?
Yeah, and because we got to cover that real quick, and then we've got to do Marjorie.
Yeah, I definitely would like to hear what Jeff has to say
Sure.
about Martin Taylor
Yeah.
Greene.
But this is different. This is Timber Shed on Elon and other stuff. This I thought. Now Benny has some good stuff. He's a hard pill for me to swallow a lot of times, but he was quiet here. So go ahead and play it. It was a good video, I thought, with Timber Shed.
And James Comer is out saying that the Clintons are going to get Bannon treatment. They haven't gotten back with you at all. They haven't even responded. Some other very powerful people have, but the Clintons have said, screw you. And you can't do that to Congress. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're, I don't know exactly what protections Hillary would ever have. Obviously you have presidential immunity, I suppose, while you're president, but Donald Trump's had to sit for subpoenas for like half his life.
And his kids.
What's going to happen to the Clintons here?
Nothing. Sewer protects its own, brother. I'll rant and rave, and I'll we'll come back on in a couple of weeks, and I'll tell you about the letter I wrote to whoever to get them before the committee. But that's why people like me aren't in leadership, dude. I think you just about have to be compromised to get to that point, one way or the other.
What should happen to the Clintons?
They should be punished. We should get to the bottom of everything. We should find out where the money went. We should find out where the money went when they were down there in that island. Not just the Epstein Island, the
Haiti?
Haiti. But too many people got rich off this. Look, Benny, here's how it works. It's just the NGOs, and let's talk about them non-government organizations which are government. Just my bill to defund the Taliban. 1,000 NGOs plus you add the UN, probably 3,000 NGOs. The money flows, and Elon Musk had it right, and that's why I think both parties shunned themselves from him, because he said, hey, those NGOs, the money flows right back to Washington. And he told me, he said, I think it flows in the pockets of politicians. I mean, you had the ranking member of the committee I serve on that went through the bill to defund the Taliban, which, still waiting in the Senate for them to pass it. All kinds of confusion over there. They're fighting over the NGOs. The money, he told me the money flows right from your pockets to the dadgum NGOs. The NGOs, the money comes right back to Washington in the form of dark money and in the pockets of politicians. That's why you're seeing Republicans go squishy on NGOs, because they're shady as hell. They all are. I mean, if you're involved in it, they are. Not everybody up here is. Some of them are just willing idiots. They just go along to get along, so they know that they'll get their crumbs, and they don't really ask where they come from.
Do you think that that's what Elon found, and that's why he was run out of the city?
That's my theory. That's my theory, ultimately. I think he was getting too close. I don't know if he found the specifics yet, but I'd say he was right on it. He was right on it. And then you don't see the media rap, and I know I got to get on. I got to go. I got to get out. I got to get to my deal. C-SPAN, I apologize. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. I mean, it's money, it's power, and it's arrogance. All those three things is what runs this town. And that's why, again, people like me, we don't advance. We don't advance. I mean, I'm good looking enough to be a chairman. You've told me that many times off the air that I'm an incredibly handsome man. And I got to go, brother. I love you. Thank you.
That's it.
Hey, let's keep fighting for our country. Let's not quit.
Yeah, I don't know. I like him, and I just think he's telling the truth. So I thought Marjorie did for a while there, but I liked Marjorie, and then I was off Marjorie because of the inside trading, and then she was saying all the right things, bringing up all the right stuff, and then she quits. Now Tim Burchett, to me, stepping up. I mean, what do you guys think?
I'm gonna let Jeff take this one.
Well, I think probably 85%, that may be generous, of these congressional members are compromised. I mean, there is zero way mathematically possible that you can go to Washington, D.C. on the salary that they get, and within the first few years, you're multimillionaires. Now, eventually, people say that, well, the president really doesn't have much authority to do, anything. Not that I'm smart enough to advise the president, but eventually you're going to have to go scorched earth, because, I've seen some of his polls, and I'm sure that's why he's getting frustrated, because his core base is getting pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
And
pissed off right now.
Yeah, and a lot of the people that, were he couldn't do no wrong is getting pissed off. And, there's one individual that, I know that's close to him, and I just straight out told him, I said, you need to walk in and tell your boss you should either shit or get off the pot. Because, I told him within the first 6 months, if the American people didn't see some major results,
right?
You're probably going to, if the elections are fair, you're probably going to see you lose the House, the Senate. You're going to have impeachment after impeachment. It's going to be, 2016 all over again. And that's if you believe in what we believe and what I believe is going on just by looking at the tea leaves, something between now and the midterms major has to happen. And I think the whole emergency order on the election systems is going to happen.
Jeff, that's like a year away, and you are on the record saying if something doesn't happen in the first year, which the first year, the time's ticking.
Right.
We're 2 months away. You're talking about almost another year, and I think that's too late. So a lot of people want us to get on the topic of Marjorie Taylor Greene. So let's shift gears and head over there, Tammy. I'm going to let you lead off.
Okay, so Marjorie Taylor Greene, obviously, once she said that she is going to resign January 5th of 2026, all hell broke loose. There were people coming at her, people saying she's a backstabber. I mean, the shit was flinging every which way but sideways, right? So one thing that I can agree with her, if she did resign on coming January 5th, it was 2 days after the 5-year term limit. So she's going to receive full pension and everything else. And I'm going to say this, any one of us that was going to resign from a position would wait until we got our full pension, our full 5 years in. So I'm not going to hold that against her at all. That's what she did. But then it was brought up how much money she's worth now, how much money she was worth. And she has countered this saying, listen, government's corrupt. You guys are going to come and see that coming 2026, you think all this stuff's going to happen, and it's not, because she once again said that it is campaign year. They're going to be worried about that. They aren't going to do anything with what Trump wants to be done, and she's fed up. She's fed up with the Epstein files and on and on. Like her or not, some of the things she said is true. Well, then Trump came out bashing her left and right and said Marjorie Trader Brown is what he called her, because of, he said because of plummeting poll numbers and not wanting to face a primary challenger with a strong Trump endorsement who she would have no chance of winning, has decided to call it quits. Her relationship with the worst Republican congressman in decades, Tom Massey, because he's going after Tom Massey as well, from Kentucky, also known as Rand Paul Jr., because he votes against the Republican Party and really good legislation, did not help her. For some reason, primarily that I refused to return her never-ending barrage of phone calls, Marjorie went bad. Nevertheless, I will always appreciate Marjorie and thank her for her service to our country. President DJT. Well, Marjorie said she did not send him a bunch of phone calls. So basically they're playing ping pong verbal darts back and forth is what they're doing. Now, there was rumors that she wanted to run for governor or senator here in Georgia, and there were even rumors about her running for president 2028. She came out today and said, I am not running for president 2028. Time magazine put that crap out there with anonymous people stating things, and it's not true at all. So she said that is not what's happening. Now, if she does a governor run or something, fine, but Trump's not going to endorse her, because then they were saying Trump said no, I'm not going to endorse you as governor or senator or whatever, and it pissed her off, so that's why she quit. Now she's saying she wants to live her life, whatever comes next comes. But I unfortunately am flip-flopping back and forth with her, because like I said, I trusted her, then I found out stuff, then I didn't, but I've liked what she said and she's standing strong. But now then she up and quits. I don't know why she would do that. So that's my take on it.
Well, I'm going to be short and sweet, and I'll give it back to Jeff. I think it has a lot to do with her coming out saying she was going to name names on the Epstein list, and then all this shit come unraveled, and I think it has something to do with that.
Well, she can still name names. What's wrong? Get in front of a microphone, because every democratically controlled media outlet would carry it. What are they going to hold her to? There's nothing secret about it. If she knows who's on this list, that means so does everybody else in Congress, because probably 75% of it's your damn co-workers
Oh,
who
yeah.
are sitting in Congress. And, you know, I personally think that NSA has, and Doge has went through all these congressional members' finances. And any of this dark money, any of these bribes, look, if you're making $180,000 a year, there's no way in 5 years you're a multimillionaire. You barely cracked the $500,000 mark, and that's if you didn't have any bills. So somewhere along the line, you sold the country out.
It has to be.
Yes.
She also has the concrete business or cement business, and I don't think you make that much out there doing that here in Georgia. I can't say for sure, but she was saying she got a lot of her money from that, and the numbers were exaggerated.
Well, I mean, why isn't Congress doing financial disclosure statements? Let's resolve that right there. Oh, that's right, because you guys are going to out yourselves that you're selling the country out. And, you know, Trump uses his words very carefully. And for him to come out and call her a traitor.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he meant to the party. I don't think he meant to him. I think he meant to the country. Because
okay.
I think it has to do with insider trading. They're all in a club. Look, if you or I or any of us in here would get caught with that, good luck, Timmy. You're going to a federal holding facility.
That's true.
That's if they even give you a trial.
Well, also, she said that she's sick of the Senate won't end the filibuster. And then the Dems are going to take the House in a year, because you know what they're going to do. We've been hearing that from warnings from a lot of people that why the hell aren't we doing that? I mean, I'm just so over that. You, me, LW, and the people in our chat and that watch this show are so fired up and angry about this. Yet the people in Congress and Senate that represent us just kind of like, la, 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 I'm going on vacation, la, 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 it's going to be okay. And all they do is yap, 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 yap. They go on these different shows, do these different, pressers, and just yap, 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 yap. But nothing. Talk is cheap. Talk is easy. It's action.
That's all they do is talk.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, well, I mean, the filibuster is going to kick our ass if we don't take care of it and get stuff done.
Well, yeah, because we know if the other side gets the House, they're going to use it. It's going to be done. They've already come out and said, we are going to pack the Supreme Court to 13 members.
Yep. Let's not forget that little nugget, everybody.
I mean, this... Like I said, there's going to have to be something of constitutional crisis style that has to happen within the next 13 to 14 months. Has to. Or
I've got an image that I want to close tonight out with. I want to share this. Tammy and I already talked about this earlier. But I want to share an image and get Jeff's take on it. So let me pull it up real quick. And I find this very interesting.
And that's true. A lot of young people are leaving the dark. Oh, go ahead, LW.
No, that's the image. That's the image I wanted to show. I want to get people's thoughts on that. I'd like to see the comments there in chat. You guys can share your comments on this photo and what you've seen going circulating around social media, but thought it was very interesting.
So Trump reposted that. Obviously, the King thing's been going on. Now, if if with those on them on their hands and knees, I love that, and I think that it is typical Trump sassiness. Even though he didn't make it, he reposted it. Let's be that true. Let that mean that these people are going to pay for their crimes. That's what I look at it as, because, I mean, he looked good getting off of or traveling from D.C. back to, he went somewhere and did, it was golfing, something about a golf course, came back. But he had his nice big trench coat on. He had a big red scarf, and he looked like a mob leader, didn't he? I thought so anyhow.
Your thoughts, Jeff?
So who's that supposed to be? Schumer, Pocahontas, and Schiff?
It's Pelosi, I think.
No,
No?
I think it's Pocahontas.
Oh, it is? Okay.
So, with Trump putting this stuff out, these three are probably done. And I've asked the question to a couple guys that I know with this whole Ben Salman visit. Is it possible that if our courts are compromised, if our Congress is compromised, because the Supreme Court just affirmed the Alien Enemies Act, is it possible that some of these politicians may be transported to Saudi Arabia? Because remember, we transported a lot of people supposedly involved to 9/11 to Saudi Arabia because they don't play as nice as we have to.
That's a whole nother concept. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's trolling. I think he's trying to get riled up personally, because the left, the no kings thing, right? And for him to post something like that ought to get under their skin, I would think.
Well, but to me, why do it? I mean,
Yeah.
I know he has an ego.
Because it's fun.
Right, because it's Trump. But to me, there's a hidden meaning. There's a hidden meaning to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I think that's their warning shot, because all these people have been quiet yet again. Their mugs aren't in front of the TV.
True. But I mean, if everybody's bad, who's good? Who's left that's good? I mean, the reality is, if they're all bad, and Trump is good, and Scavino's good, and Bongino's good, there's like, on one hand, I can count who's good and everybody's bad. How do you really take all that down?
Well,
Like,
and now, if that is the case, and if you're going down the right path, now we know why it's taken 8 years, 9 years, 10 years.
true.
Because we only have one shot at it.
Yeah, that's true. This is it.
I guess. Well, let's roll into final thought. We'll let Jeff go ahead and go first tonight so he can get out of here. Jeff, are we still good for tomorrow night?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we'll be back tomorrow night with Cigars and Brandy with Jeff B. Don't miss it tomorrow night. We'll put that link out sometime earlier in the morning so you guys can catch that, share it out. But we'll be back same time tomorrow evening. Jeff, what's your final thought for tonight?
Well, I think this week is going to be very, very stressing.
Great.
Because
Great.
Yeah.
That's what Tammy wanted to hear.
Right. So tomorrow night at midnight, Venezuela is going to be a narco state ran by a terrorist. And I'm not sure whether they are going to do it right before Thanksgiving. My guess is they're probably going to let these Marines and sailors have their Thanksgiving Day meal. And after all of that, I think all hell's going to break loose. And there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to come out. My only fear with us going at Venezuela is they're in striking difference or striking distance to us. And, you know, Russia's put a lot of stuff down in there. But I'm sure that we have enough weapon systems and a lot of stuff people don't know about sitting down there waiting to bring some long-arm justice to this country.
Wow.
Well, we'll keep our eye on it. Thanks for joining us tonight, Jeff.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jeff.
Yep.
See you
Have a good
tomorrow.
evening.
See you tomorrow.
Well, Tammy, your turn.
Well, I thought that it would be a nice, calm, celebratory Thanksgiving leading into Christmas and the New Year. But it doesn't appear to be that way. I'm not giving up. I'm just trying to be logical. I don't want to get over optimistic. I don't want to be sitting on my rear end, not at least paying attention to what's really going on and just grasping onto things I want to hear, I want to see. I've just been very, very uncomfortable for a while, out of control, uncomfortable with the things that I've seen. And it's not that I didn't expect to see the things that I've seen. It's the lack of action that I have seen. It's all talk and it's all pacifying. And then as soon as we get fed up about something like the Epstein files, all of a sudden something over here big happens where we get ticked off about that. And then they pacify us with and say, it's under control. We're taking care of it. You're going to see action. And then we start getting pissed off because we don't. And then something else happens. So that's where I'm at. I pray a lot. I pray a lot and I try to stay optimistic, but I'm also real about things. You know, I'm going to really enjoy this Thanksgiving and this Christmas as best as I can and see what the new year brings. But boy, I'm not feeling good about it. And that's it.
I'm definitely unsettled, but I'm going to enjoy Thanksgiving. I'm not going to worry about it, but I'm definitely going to pay attention and always be aware of what could happen, I guess. Here's one thing that we should play for tomorrow night, Tammy. Remember that gal that you sent me? What's her name? Steamboat Girl?
Steamboat Girl.
The one that Marjorie Taylor Greene also went and did an interview with her or whatever.
Oh.
Remember that video you sent me a while back that said, listen, here's my letter. Listen to what I say, blah, 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 blah. She just kept going on and on and on. Talked in circles.
Oh, it's
Remember
Shipwreck.
that video?
Shipwreck.
Shipwreck Girl. Yeah, Shipwreck Girl. Let's find that video and play it again tomorrow night because I think it basically sums up what you just said. And I'd like to share that with everybody tomorrow night because that's definitely what I feel a lot of is we just get talked to and talked in circles and nothing really truthfully happens. So that's just kind of my thought. But my final thought is I'm definitely going to enjoy Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. It's going to be a new year. I got a lot of stuff on my plate for next year. So pretty excited for that. But I'm so grateful Jeff jumped up here this evening and so grateful for all these wonderful people listening, watching us tonight. Please hit that like button if you haven't done so. Subscribe, share us out. Yeah, what a good night to come back. I feel great. My nose is feeling good except for the cold, and I'm ready to get back after it.
Yeah, you sound good. You sounded good through the whole show, so that's good. You know, that first one's always iffy. When you come back, you're like, ooh, what's going to happen? Is it going to start dripping? Am I going to start coughing? Is it going to go down my throat? Yeah, but everything's awesome. So it's good to have you back full force, pretty much, LW.
All right. Well, I won't try to play any more videos because that didn't work the first time. So
we'll just hop on out of here and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
And we'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. God bless.
Bye.